Hey, good morning, good afternoon. Hello, Damon. How are you, dude? What's happening, man?
I'm doing great, Kurt. How are things today?
My goodness gracious. It couldn't, if it was any better, you might have to call 911 right now. Like, it's just really,
We don't want to
really,
go there.
man, I'm telling you, I don't know if my heart's going to take this episode today. Let's just, you know what? We're going to dive right in.
Jump right
We've
in.
got, man, Damon, I don't, we have a repeat offender today.
Mm-hmm.
So we have one of our favorite guests of all time. We have Sri Mahabir. Sri, happy Monday. How are you today?
I am doing amazing, and I feel so honored to be somebody that's one of your favorite guests.
Oh, well,
I'm
man,
just kidding.
how can it not, how could that not be? So, hey,
Yep.
happy Monday to everybody. Drop us a note. This is going to be a really lively discussion. If you are interested in, you have live stream questions, you have video visibility. We have the video visibility expert here. We're going to be diving in, covering a bunch of different topics. Sri, I don't know, you were on before. Man, did we have a good time? We dug in, and we got vulnerable. We talked about your background, and we're gonna hit some of these things again. Now, last time I hit you with a question, if you happen to recall, and I asked you who your hero was growing up. Do you remember that? And you gave like one of the all-time best answers, Damon. She said, "Mom and Dad." Dad
Yes.
is Ray. Mom, help me with mom's name. What's mom's first name?
Mom's name is Padmaja. Dad's name is Ray.
That's right. And so you mentioned those. You mentioned Martin Luther King. You mentioned
Yep.
Gandhi. And then you had, if I have this right, Mrs. Pritchett. Do I have that right?
Yes, my fourth grade teacher. Wow, you have really good memory.
So you meant it was like this huge, like all-star Hall of Fame lineup of folks that you rattled off that were your heroes growing up. So I have a little spin on the question today. I have a little spin on the question. So we asked you who was your hero, and you gave us a whole lineup, right? The question today is, Sri, are you ready? Are you sitting
I'm
down?
ready.
You
Let's
good?
do
If who on this planet would Damon and I be speaking to, and we ask the question, who is your hero? And the answer would be you. Who are you the hero to?
I am the hero to my daughter. So
Nice.
although she will sit there and be like, "No, you're not, mommy,"
Yeah.
it is. We as parents who have daughters or a son, we understand how, behind closed doors, we are their superheroes.
Right.
But in public, it's a different story.
Yeah.
That's right. They won't admit it. But Sri,
No
what's your
way.
daughter's name? What's
My
your daughter's
daughter's name is Savina.
name? Savina.
Savina.
Okay.
Cool.
Excellent. All right. So Savina is so you are the hero to Savina. So that is a great answer. And how Savina in school? Well, what's her deal? What's going on with Savina?
I hope she's in school. She's in Lubbock at Texas Tech. She, I hope she's there doing
Yeah.
Nice.
work.
Awesome. What
Yeah.
year is she at?
That's where you hope is all you can have there.
What year is she at Texas Tech?
She is a third year, and she is studying management with a concentration in HR. And one of the things that she found very difficult was finding a job. And I kept telling her, like, hey, you have a really good network called LinkedIn. And there's this thing called posting. And there's this thing like your mom. Okay, if you don't want to have your mom help you, I can introduce you to a few people who can help you understand how to navigate, talk to people. Especially, I remember when I was working a 9 to 5, I had a few college students reach out to me and I actually talked to them. I got to know them. And anytime there was an opening, I would reach out to them. Even though like we had one coffee chat, I still remembered. I was like, hey, hey, check this out. Let me know if you need any help. And I always put this in the forefront of my mind is like, if I do this for somebody, it will come back, and it might come back to me. It might come back to my daughter. And so she was a little not listening. And so I ended up reaching out to my network and ended up hiring somebody to help me with her resume. They gave me really good tips to help her. She ended up, it took her a while, but she found a job on camp. Well, not on campus, but in the dorms on campus. But I will say, if anybody is, the story or the lessons from the story is LinkedIn is a great tool. And if you don't know how to create a post or you don't know where to start, it just get in to the messages, like just be a normal person. Don't be like, hey, I saw you and I want to be your friend and I know that you can help me and I need a job, or I can help you get to 100,000 followers in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Well,
We've got a comment here I just have to bring up from Dan. He's 5 minutes late today.
oh, Dan, gee, we were you know what? Speaking of 911, I almost called 911. I was going to call Julie to make sure Dan, happy Monday. Thank you for joining us here today. And we're here with Sri. And so, hey, let's pull up. Abu is here today. Abu, thank you for joining. Happy Monday. We've got Gavin here. It's going to be a fun chat. Video's been super powerful. It's gotten over my clients over 80 million views. My goodness gracious. Diane Fire. Diane, sending you lots of love, my friend. We love it. We've got our friend here. We've got MD from Bangladesh. We've got Sagir here. Exactly. I reached out to most of my clients through LinkedIn. You know, and what was great, Damon, we had a guest on Friday. And we're going to dig into this a little bit. She shared very vulnerable. She was just laid off from her job 3 weeks ago. She's in Houston, you guys. As a matter of fact, you guys should connect. And she's talking about how while she was in college, she went all in on LinkedIn, 21, 22 years old. She's now 25, and how she's built up this wonderful this amazing network on LinkedIn, and how that by her losing her job, she created a side hustle. And so now it's really helped her transition. Sri, so let's talk a little bit about, I want to go back here, guys, connect with Sri on LinkedIn. She's, oh my God, all sorts of great content. She's doing lives, all sorts of wonderful things. Sri, last time you were on the show, I just, for folks that are new to you, you had something happen a few days before Christmas a few years back. Do you want to just kind of share like your entrepreneurial journey? And then we're going to dive into like video expertise here.
Absolutely. So I actually started going live on Instagram, and that's when I was interviewing entrepreneurs. I had started my first business, which is virtual assistant. And then in 2020, this is 2019, I started the business. In 2020, when the pandemic happened, I was like, how do I build visibility? How do I get in front of others? And how do I give a spotlight to entrepreneurs? That's why I started going live on Instagram. Fast forward to 2021, I was, I hit my 100th live on Instagram. And then I realized, you know what? There's more to this. And I don't like this first business. I'm not sure what to do. I hired a coach who helped me figure out, get into video and helping people get on camera. Because if you already got 40 people out of the 100 to go live with you and they never did video or live streaming, then let's go ahead and this is the business. So I started posting on LinkedIn starting in June. And then 6 months later, 9 days before Christmas, I got laid off. And just like your previous guest, I built this audience and network that it was easy for me to fall into this business. And that's what I did, just have been doing for the last 2 years. But there have been pivots. There have been some moments of, this is not what I want. I realized your first year of being an entrepreneur, it's all about mindset. And then the second year is those limiting beliefs of like, you get through the mindset, but then it's like, what do you need to let go of? What are things that you're holding on to? I actually let go of a show that I had with a wonderful co-host, but just wasn't for us. And that was very difficult. But, going back into what I do is I work. Now I realized last year who I want to focus on working with, and that is dental, medical, and law practices, helping them get leads so that they can hire the talent, so that they can have more time to work in their business, maybe even start a business, and help them build that visibility, which can lead to, being able to get awards, get in publications, speeches. And we do this using social media. We manage their social media, creating video content, going live, podcasts. And sometimes we don't think that all of this is important. But as I keep reading and I keep seeing all of the reports, we're seeing how important social media is. It does play a role. People do want to know what is it that you do? Like whether you're in manufacturing, whether you're a mechanic, whether you are a restaurant, we want to see what do you have? What do you have to offer? But at the same time, we want to also hear from you. What is your story? What is your experience? How can I connect with you?
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that. And, you know, and Damon, we were just saying this on Friday. Like, you know, I think you and I say it frequently. What are we selling? Right? Selling one thing, trust. Right? It doesn't matter if you're in a service business, product business, what you might be in. Hey, we've got some friends here that I want to pull up here. So we've got, hey, Sagir says, hey, can I ask some questions? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Boy, we have a video.
Bring them in.
Here. We welcome your questions here. And speaking of questions
coming.
I have, hey, Mike Franz from Minneapolis is in the house. Mike, happy Monday to you. And we've got Alan from Indianapolis. Alan, happy Monday, my friend. And you know what? And you know, we've got several entrepreneurs here in the crowd, and you just dropped a note, you know, Sri, you were talking about like, hey, that first year mindset. I don't know, like Dan, Mike, any of you guys want to chime in the chat box, you know, talk, you know, let's get a conversation going about how important is that mindset transitioning into entrepreneurship. Dan Bigger asked a question. What about manufacturing people in the glass industry? So any
for lunch. They have to bring me lunch and I will work them.
Absolutely love it. So, so Sri, let's start here. So, you know, late off Christmas time, you're already starting to build your brand. So let's start here on your LinkedIn profile. Again, guys, connect with Sri on LinkedIn. She's just what a blessing. She's just a breath of fresh air, video expert. You have a tagline. Are you afraid to get on? So don't quote me. Are you afraid to get in front of a camera? 589 billion hours of video were watched last year. 589 billion. So for folks, clients that you're working with that are maybe a little bit camera shy or maybe a little bit resistant, how are you helping these folks, Sri?
So the first thing I have a comment too here from my friend. Her name is Janie. She's there in the yellow with the green top. I'm saying hello to her. So one of the things that I always ask is, what are your goals for your business when you think about using social media? Because really at the end of the day, social media is an avenue to get to your goals. It's not the end all be all. Like, why are we here? What are we doing? And then once we understand that, then it's, okay, what are common questions that people ask when they come into the office? Or what are things, and it could be as simple as, do you take my insurance? Or could it be that, would you take my case? Or would it be that, you know, what are the days that you're open? Like I found that some dental practices are not open on Fridays. I didn't know that. Like in one city in one state, and it's in Idaho, if I'm not mistaken, like they are closed on Friday. Everybody's closed on Friday. And and if you call, then you find out that one is, you know, they do appointments, but nobody knows that based on the content that's being posted. Yeah. And then we dive deeper into, and I love this when people say, well, we were posting for a year and it didn't work.
Yeah.
I wanted to know. I want to know who has, you know, was able to get $100,000 in 6 weeks. Please drop a heart in the comments, because I would love to meet you and make friends with you.
Right. It takes time. It takes time. And Dan Bigger says, hey, you know, the goal is to meet people and drive traffic. And that's the thing. I think that, you know, the big thing is, it's like, you know, there's going to be a silver bullet or like a magic potion that we're going to get business right away, as opposed to like just really nurturing, building those relationships. Sri, I feel like you've done such an incredible job of nurturing, building those relationships, and you've really done it with your live stream. Talk a little bit. I want to dive into live streaming first. Okay. Talk a little bit about what has live streaming done for you personally? What's it done for your business, your brand, relationships that you've built? Let's go there first. What has live streaming done for you as personally and professionally?
When I think of live streaming, I think of live streaming as it changed my life. I really wasn't the type of person, if you met me 4 years ago, you would not have imagined that I would do something like this. I didn't even know what I was doing. Guys, I used a hair tie and a snow globe and a jewelry box for my stand for my phone to go live, because I didn't have anything. so many times you get the question, well, I don't have this and I don't have that.
Yeah.
I made whatever I had work. I was in my room and it's actually green. Like it was really an interesting experience. But this whole time, because I also have a background in sales and coaching sales teams, that I used a lot of that. So you have to build relationships.
Mhm.
And yeah, they can like you, but if they don't trust you and they're not going to pay you with their time. That was like the first lesson I learned, because you're not getting paid for this. Why should this guest come onto your show and give their time? Then the next thing that I learned was I really had to build processes, because I didn't really have a process. And I realized later how much a process is so important, from just like the moment that somebody gets into the whole booking to be on your show, and you asking simple questions. What are you going to be promoting? Sometimes if you're like me, I'm actually booking out until August. Sometimes people don't know what they have, but it's always like, okay, this is an opportunity for me to be on this show and this is what we're going to talk about. But also you can set up those reminder emails that go out, because once it's set up, that's doing it for you. And then the third thing that really helped me is, because I was always afraid to be on camera. I do mess up on my words like I am right now. I get nervous. I don't like the way I look. I don't like, the grays come out to play. I have cried on live. I'm worried that people are going to look at the live and be like, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is, I used to always be afraid, like if I shared where I'm struggling, nobody wants to work with me. But I've also learned that those people are not my people. Like the ones who really want to work with me will stick around. And so that has helped too, because I have shared about when my daughter went off to college, that first month in August of 2021, I was crying all the time. And then as my father got ill in September of last year because of COVID, I gave it to him. It helped me see things differently. I had a community. I mean, let's even rewind back. I lost my job and I had a community of support. And even now, like I put a post recently because I was talking about my dad who has dementia. I have people reaching out and saying, I know what you're going through. I mean, it's just our parents, we love them. They're our superheroes, like the question that you asked earlier. But at the same time, we don't want to see them like that. We've been seeing them be this strong, amazing person. And now we are the ones having to clean them up, having to do everything for them. And then making a hard decision. We got to do what's best for them. And sometimes it's hard to talk about, but I find that even though I help medical dental law practices, and Dan, if you want to work with me with the free lunch and some other things, I actually don't mind. Like one of my current clients right now, she does, she talks about psychological safety and in the workplace and bringing that up. And so I learned from everybody else, but I also learned from my own experiences. And the more that I'm able to share about who I am, how I got through a problem, the more people will see like, hey, this is a possibility. Although sometimes it's very difficult, I'm going to say that it's very worth it.
Well, I love that. Hey, how about Sheree? We'll grab a couple comments. So your friend Janine here says, yes, it's definitely life-changing. More business owners must go live in 2024. Man, Janine, we need to have you on the show.
There you go.
Yes, you should. You really do. She know. Like, let me tell you, when I say she's an OG, she's an OG. She started going live in 2018, if I'm not mistaken, with an older software. So she knows about live streaming a lot longer than me.
She's a pioneer. And so, hey, what else do we have here? Hey, Diane says this: the beauty within you is simply stunning. Man, Diane, we couldn't agree more. Dan says he's counting the days until his daughters leave for college. Dan, oh, dude, you're gonna be a mess. So, daughters of dads with dementia. So, hey, Diane, you guys should connect, and you guys could have a little chat. And I'm gonna grab a comment back here from Sagir. I know, like, trees being covered up. But other than LinkedIn, where should I deploy my sales team to get more clients? I'm currently working with 26 different clients and generating qualified leads. I want to expand my horizons and scale up my business and add more value. Shri, any thoughts, expertise for our friend Sajir on that?
Sanjir, I would love to ask, when you think of your clients, how old are they? Like,
Right
where are
there.
they? Because,
Right
you know,
there.
it's real funny because they might be here on LinkedIn, they might be on Facebook, they might be on Instagram, they may be hanging out on TikTok. You really don't have to be everywhere. Like, see, Janine said 2015 that
Woo.
Katie's been there since a long time. We are just,
We're
she knows.
man. How about 2015? My goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Janine, you are a pioneer.
Real
So
pioneer.
That's nuts.
Going back to the question, it is
Yeah.
about where are they? You don't have to be everywhere. You just need to be where they are and understand that algorithm. Like when I say algorithm, just understand what type of content would do well. For example, on TikTok, we're finding that longer videos over a minute are getting pushed more and they are being watched. Yes, it feels like they're getting dropped, but I will actually watch videos that are a lot longer. We are seeing the creative videos. We are seeing also when you think of TikTok, you think it's only like vertical, but they're also doing the horizontal videos. So you can see where, how it gets pushed because whenever they have a new feature. But I do see that more and more people are somewhere. You just have to figure out where. Facebook is growing in usership. You're seeing people jump on there. Many practices are on there, law, medical, dental. They find that that's where their clients are. But I'm seeing that clients are just kind of everywhere. But your particular client, the one that you're targeting, could be on even Twitter or X. They could be on YouTube. Not, YouTube is a long play. Like all of this is long play. I would, even the old boots on the ground, going to in-person networking events. What conferences, what workshops can you go out there? When it's conferences, what conferences should you attend? And when it's a workshop, what places can you go and host a free workshop?
Right.
To get people to come in? What places can you partner with and say, hey, if we do this training here, we'll allow your employees to come for free, but then you can promote and market that you have this event and draw people to your event.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And at those events, Damon, what can you do at that event? You can live stream at the event, right?
Yes.
So
we've done it many times.
Let's go and catch me if I've let's see how Lee says, happy Monday, Lee. Being comfortable with being uncomfortable is a key to LinkedIn and a lot of other things in life. And Dan Bigger says, short plays never work. Everything is a long play. Amen, brother. Let's go here, Shri. And Damon, you please feel free to chime in. Let's talk about the benefits of live streaming. Okay. Like Damon, we've come up with, I have 39 and a half, right? We're not sure about the half, but we've come up with this little guide, 39 and a half benefits. Shri, you said it's changed your life. Janine said it changed her life. Let's go there. So if there's a manufacturer out there, there's an entrepreneur, there's a business owner, a marketer, and like Sajir, he's like, man, I'm doing all the things, but I haven't done this thing. Why should somebody like just go all in on live stream? What's your take on that question?
So my take on that is, how can I build a connection with the community that I'm building? And then on top of that, let me share what is it that I have that might be of something that helps the market, but you find out through the live streaming shows. I've seen companies do, like, they promote and say, hey, we're having this live stream and it's going to be from this time to this time. Bring your questions. And if you want, we can take you offline and have a call right then and there. So they're using live streaming shopping. We're seeing that on Amazon and other retailers that are doing that. But you want to think about this is, why would you want to go live? What is it that you want to show your potential client or your current clients? And, how could you use this content? Where is it going to be placed? Because, you could be like me, who took almost 3.5 years to create the podcast. Or you could say, you know what, I'm going to take this, turn it into posts, take this, turn it into content that can be turned into a blog, that can be turned into a website video, because there's so much that can go on. Are you going to bring on former clients or current clients? Are you going to bring on, like you have a guest? Why would your community, your ideal client, want to tune in?
Yeah. I
Oh,
could.
great.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll drop the mics right there.
Oh,
Damien.
yeah. Yeah.
That was
so many.
what. Let's unpack a couple of those. I want to dive into repurposing. So number one, I personally think business development, live streaming is one of the most powerful, most efficient, most effective ways for business development. So for those of you in sales, marketing, like there's a method behind, like Sri, when you're bringing folks on, like you're being strategic. Damon, other live streamers that, you do, you're live streaming 4 days a week, dude. Like what are some of the benefits? How has live streaming changed your life? Let's go here, Damon. How has it changed your life?
Well, you talk about two things really. Cross promotion. I mean, we don't think about cross promotion enough, but we're all in communities, right? Either in geographic. Sorry, my phone fell down. We either in geographic communities or industrial communities or whatever, part of our industry, part of our vertical, part of the world, whatever it is. And these communities, you can build them through that. You can share things with them that they're interested in. The questions, like you said, Sri, I think is incredible. And you mentioned this earlier about answering your potential customers' questions. It is such a good reason to go live streaming with somebody, a past client or a current client that you talked about, how the process that you went through, you can questions that you had about it, anything like that. But then sharing knowledge that you don't even know you've got. Because if you're a business, you're a manufacturer like Dan, they're glass manufacturing, that people don't know half the stuff that Dan knows, that he and his wife know about making those products, and they don't understand the care, the thought, the detail that goes into doing it. And people will appreciate things more if they really understand what goes into the products and services that come to them, because they may be overlooking a very important value point to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, but then again, I go back to community though, because Kurt, think about us prior to live streaming. How many people did we know to call if we had a problem? I
knew 3, my mom, my best friend Chuck, and my best friend Van. And that was it. But so, I mean, Tree, I'm gonna look at how has it expanded your network? So I want to cover 2 things. Let's talk about community. Let's carry that while Damon's there. Then I want to come back to you. I felt drop some golden nuggets there for the folks in the crowd on repurposing content. Let's talk about community. Janine, the friends like Charlene, mutual friends that we have. Just talk about what it's done in collaboration for you, relationships, doors that it's opened. Let's go there first.
So it has opened a lot of doors. I have a Rolodex of numbers of people in contact that I can communicate with at the same time. It's one of those people want to connect with you because of who you know. They want to be in that inner circle. I learned that lesson really hard last year, but I'm not upset. I think it was a power to show, you know what, this building these relationships takes time. I have some people who've been watching me for the last 4 years. Yeah. And when you think about community, and I think about even my agency, it's filled with individuals who've known me for years, who've watched my journey, especially my creative director. He is the co-partner in this. And we met in 2020 on a live show. I have seen business deals come just within community, people who knew me or maybe knew the guest, and then they're collaborating in they're talking to each other in the comments. So if you don't know somebody in the comments, definitely make a friend, reach out. But next thing I know, I was looking at their Instagram stories, or I'm looking at their LinkedIn posts, and I'm like, oh my gosh, these 2 people actually did business. I saw the comments, but I didn't, I let things just go organically. And also for community, sometimes you don't realize for your guests, if you do it right, they get the recording, they can turn it into a podcast. That actually happened. One of my
Mhm.
guests turned the episode into a podcast episode. So when I think about a guest, it's not about me, it's really about them and leveraging them, putting them out into the public. Because at the end of the day, Kurt, you might see the guest and be like, you know what, I want to bring them on. And I'm going to say that I saw them on Shree's show and I want them on our show.
Mhm.
I would not know until I watch, I just happened to come
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
post, but it's one of those things when you think about community and building partnerships, it's again, everything is long.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
never going to be the short. And many of the coaches that I've ever worked with, I interviewed them.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know who they are, or some of the referrals I've gotten are because they were on my show and they just liked the way I did things. So that's how I got business. Not always there were the guests, the client, it was always they referred. And that's fine with me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. Hey, let's grab a couple comments here. Let's see. Hey, Damon, I know you feel the exact same way, right? Your ideal customer are bald guys in New York. Don't you feel that way, Shree? Huh? How about is it
Let's
is it
see.
just my
I
mom?
agree. Like the ball guys in New York all the
Is it
time.
just my mom that feels that way? So okay, Janine, it's a short game, and Dan, I think you had another comment here I wanted to grab. So Damon, are you
Yes.
saying I need a podcast? Yes, I don't know. We're pretty biased, but I
Yeah.
it's hard right now, like Damon, I'm a solopreneur. Tree, you're a
Yep.
solopreneur, right? I think this is one of the most powerful, most effective ways for business development, creating content, so on and so forth. So it's, when I work with companies or manufacturers that have a full team, it's hard. Like, man, anybody could do it. If I could do this, I'm 55 with no hair. I'm a bald guy in New York.
Yeah.
Like if I'm doing it, man, you could definitely do it. Shree, let's dive into repurposing content. So, hey, we're over the top of the hour. If you're just joining us, we're here with our dear friend Shree. Next Level Consulting. We encourage you, we invite you, we implore you, connect with Shree on LinkedIn. Boy, you'll thank us later. She puts out just incredible, wonderful content.
Mm-hmm.
Great, beautiful post about your dad the other day. So as a father, as a girl dad, that warmed my heart, and we send our love and our thoughts and prayers. Dad's going through some health issues right now, so we love that you shared that. Talk about repurposing content. How effective is that on live stream for repurposing content?
Well, first I want to say hi to Ruben and Dan. You didn't miss anything. The action is where you are right now.
I know. It's like
I'm not saying that comment. I'm just saying that if you are watching the replay, you definitely want to see Dan Bigger's comment about
yeah.
Dan, dude, like Julie's gonna. All right, go ahead.
So when it comes to repurposing content, that's one question that I get a lot of is, I don't have time. Okay, if you don't have time, guess what? My team and I, we set it all up. We do find you a guest if you need a guest, get your notes together, take care of all the work, come on. And then what you can do is just take the episode, and yes, you do have to do a little bit of editing, and you can make it into a podcast. And that's exactly what I did. Now, I will tell you in the beginning, it was a little bit of time. Now it takes me nothing. Like literally in 25 minutes, I have it all done. And it's because I learned a process. Same thing when it comes to creating those clips. There's so many AI tools out there, but if you don't want, you're like, you know what, I just rather put this off on somebody else. You have options. You have my team, you have other teams of people. It's one of those things like, you have all this content that you can start to put out there to draw people in. I actually use it in such a way that right now I'm testing a lot to see what happens. So in my email newsletter that goes out every week, the third week of the month, I actually have a spotlighted episode. And then that is generating more people to listen to the podcast. But guess what? Just because I highlighted one doesn't mean that they're not going to go and check out the other episodes, because there are now, this week will drop the 23rd, even though I have for a Journey of an Entrepreneur, there is 246, but there's other episodes I didn't count. So you could say 300, and then total live streaming over 500 episodes.
Have you really? 500?
Over 500 total, but for this show, Journey of an Entrepreneur, you come on to the podcast, you'll be like, where are these episodes? They're coming. But if I spotlight one and you liked that one, guess what? You're going to try to check out the other ones. And I started to see that grow. So you have to understand, people don't know you're out there unless you promote it. You can promote it on TikTok. You can promote it on Instagram. You can promote it on Facebook. You can promote it on your LinkedIn to draw people to your new episode and your, the last episode you had. Like whatever you can think of to get people to draw and get to know you more. So if you have a guest, it's great because then they're getting publicity. But again, they're coming back to listen to you because you brought on this guest. They trust you. So they trust you brought on somebody that's going to teach them something. Now, if you bring on people that are iffy, which I've had that before, I had in my DMs, they were like blowing up. Why did you bring this person on? I was like, we all can learn, but this is this is how you can tell a red flag. I would just say that people come. You don't think people are coming for you? They really are. They're not coming just for your guests. They're coming for you.
Yeah. Tree, people say that about us all the time. So, all right, just kidding. We've got my dear buddy Alan's in the house here today. And Alan, and
this is a great question. This is a great question, Alan.
Touch on the types of equipment you utilize for live streaming and the costs involved. Shree, Curious Minds would love to know.
So I'm going to share the low budget, and I should do that post where I talk about my humble beginnings. I actually started with a cart and boxes.
Yeah.
That's all I had. But then we moved up and we went into that corner and then the lights came. But if you're thinking about you have at least a couple hundreds of dollars, you can get a Blue Yeti mic, which you can't see. It's right here.
There it is.
You can get a Samsung mic, which is on Amazon. They're about like $70. There's also, you want light. I have a ring light right here. But in behind me is my original ring light. After my first month of going live, somebody gifted me that ring light because they were like, you need to stop using a globe in a jewelry box.
And a hair tie.
And a hair tie. And so I also have this light, which is called Newer, which I got on Amazon.
Yep.
So these are just a few things that I use. I don't have a lot. I wish I had more, but you have to understand, I had that ring light for a very long time. Yeah. The Blue Yeti mic came because my creative director said, I will not do your banner until you buy the Yeti mic.
Yep.
I had to buy the Yeti mic.
Right.
And so, here's a tip. Here's one tip. If you find a mic, like this is Yeti, Blue Yeti. What I did is I joined their mailing list. And so when they had a sale, I had the discount code plus the sale. So I got this for a really good price.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay. So bottom line, Shree, we're not talking thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Like we're barely talking hundreds, right? And I know I'm super, I don't think I'm any cheaper than me, Damon. So, I've got, I've got this little mic right here, right?
Yeah.
And I've got a little camera up there and my laptop. Like if you guys saw my setup, it'd be pretty. It's like it's not. So, Alan, we could, you can get in low cost, right, Damon?
Yeah, it's literally. I mean, my first mic, I still use it when I'm on the road, man. This thing was literally like $20.
Yeah.
It's a little USB mic, and it works just fine. Yeah, it's not a Blue Yeti mic, but it's still you can get started and you upgrade as you go. Right. Like you said, there's all kinds of ring lights on Amazon. My first lights on Amazon, I think I spent $30 on two. I still use them in the corners of my room. They're mounted now and stuff, but there's so much that you can do for very little. And that's part of the live streaming attraction, really, is because if you're in a business like Dan or Alan, if you want to go out and share something, it's not expensive. It's just expensive. Start.
Yeah. It's not just to get started. So, all right, let's go here. Our dear friend Diane says, okay, so live stream edited to podcast, content to newsletter. And Kurt, don't you use Otter for content for posts? Absolutely. We use Otter, great little tool. And if you go to B2B Tail and you look at I have hundreds of our past episodes. You'll see, and Shree's on there. She's a repeat offender. And so you'll see the video, you'll see the transcription. Shree, any comments that you want to add on or piggyback with what Diane is describing there as far as using Otter?
I use what's called Cast Magic. And so what it does is you can put the link to, let's say if it's on YouTube, or you just upload your file, and then it will do its magic. It actually creates titles for your podcast. It gives you the timestamps. It also does the YouTube piece, like writes a description that you could use. And it does a lot. And it's used a lot. And you can also use it to help you write a blog. So that's what I use. I use Cast Magic. I bought a lifetime deal on AppSumo. I don't know if it's still there, but they're one of the ones that are up and coming of places that you can use a really good source to get, how can I use this long form content and make something from it? Another tool I use is Descript. I upload my live show in there, and then I use something else called Audacity to add music, but that's just like 2-step if you want to keep it real simple. And you're looking to, it's Cast, C-A-S-T, Magic, like the word M-A-G-I-C, Cast Magic. And I definitely would, I highly recommend. AI is a really good tool to help you cut time, but it shouldn't be what you use to write your posts or take over everything. Like, do the research on the guest. If you're going to bring a guest, do the research. If you're going to do a live by yourself and it's your first time, consider hiring and outsourcing and get a remote producer. You've got like 3 options here. If you don't want to work with one of us, we know people, because at the end of the day, I actually remote produced a 14-hour live where my client was reviewing LinkedIn profiles. I now am an expert. Well, I'm almost an expert, but I understand what needs to go in a LinkedIn profile. But afterwards, he said, "Oh my gosh, I never realized how many moving parts it was. Just the little breaks, even, because LinkedIn only allows you to stream for 4 hours.
Yep.
Just giving a break for like 10 minutes because I was leading it helped." And so these small things do help, but also be clear on what is your message that you want to deliver when you go live. Are you going to be, what is it you're going to share? Everybody asks, what's the most optimal time? I've seen that when I do like a 30-minute live or a 20-minute live, people love it, but that's because I've been doing it a long time. For you, if it's just 5 minutes that you can do 5 minutes until you can build up. I know for YouTube, they say about 30 minutes. For TikTok, if you are approved and you have 1,000 followers, 30 minutes. So just think about that and be consistent in the days. If you decide you want to go live, if you're going to go live once a month, twice a month, 3 times a month, or 4 times a month, be consistent on the days and times like you see here with Damon and Kurt. Even if you don't see their flyer, you just know they're going to have a guest, they're going to have a show, and you're going to be there in the comments.
Yeah, I love that. And Shree, I want to add a couple of things here. So guys, connect with Shree on LinkedIn. When you connect with Shree on LinkedIn, Shree, I just want to share a couple of things that people have written about you. I'm thrilled to write a captivating LinkedIn recommendation for Shree. Shree's been an exceptional asset to my professional journey. And check out these stats, Damon. Over the course of the year, she was coaching on LinkedIn, right? Under Shree's guidance, my LinkedIn posts have witnessed a remarkable transformation. Over the course of a year, my impressions have skyrocketed by 1,597%, while engagement soared to an incredible 13,800%. That is absolutely insane. And there's a bunch of Julie says, I highly recommend Shree for her outstanding work as a video marketing producer. She goes on, and I wholeheartedly recommend Shree. Another person here that I wanted to comment, Shree has the unique ability to help those who are hesitant to show up on video and do so with confidence. She's helped hundreds of people to go live. I've had the privilege and honor of working with her, and people are just gushing on and on. Shree, what
Nice.
does it take for, again, like congratulations. We commend you on doing such great work. And guys, connect with Shree and go down to her testimonials. And you were talking earlier about that trust, social proof. What is it about you that just really resonates with your clients? What are you doing intentionally? What, like, any advice that you can share with folks in the crew here?
I'm just myself. So sometimes we're trying to be something we're not. I tried that before. And I just started to share that journey because it's, it comes in my posts.
Mhm.
Hey, I don't like the way I looked. When actually 4 years ago, I was a little bit skinnier. So I see myself and I know what you're feeling.
Mhm.
Or when it comes to clients, I know that I'm not for everybody. And I ask those questions and I have no problem saying, you know what? I'm not for you, but I know somebody who is.
Yeah.
Giving those options, because at the end of the day, you know what? I can't make myself be something I'm not. And in terms of like when you're listening to the reviews, even I sometimes question, do I even make an impact? Do I even
Mhm.
does it really help? And when I read those reviews or even just comments that people leave in the DMs or on my posts, it shows I am making an impact. And sometimes it doesn't feel like that when you're like getting a lot of no's and no new business.
Yes.
But it's not about that. It's about those small wins. If you can
Yeah.
appreciate those small wins, you will appreciate the bigger wins.
Well,
Yeah.
I love that. And I saw you replied to her comment. Janine says, great advice, Shree. And Damon says, or Dan Bigger says, hey, he's going to start going on at 1:32. So, hey, that would be a great segue. We could, just all right, slide right in. Shree, let's start taking it home. I know you're super busy and I don't want to keep you all day, though I know we could geek out all day. Okay, someone just starting out there, any words of advice of like, I know, just get started, but whether video, live stream, what advice do you have for a manufacturer, entrepreneur out there that just needs to tip their toe in the water? What would you share to just get the party started?
I would say start with video and start with posting content, because I know that many might say, oh, just go live. But the hardest thing is coming up with content ideas. Like, what do I talk about?
Mhm.
So first start with putting out some content, doing some videos, because as you get comfortable being in front of the camera, you'll be comfortable to be in front of the camera when you go live, because let's just be real, things happen in technology land and Wi-Fi, dogs, the lawnmower person, your neighbor, somebody wants to knock on the door, things
Yeah.
happen. And if you can learn how to, just be like, this is outside of me. There's nothing I can do. The only thing I can control is myself and how I react to this, then you will be fine. Plus, by posting content, you can see what's resonating with your community. And then that's what they're going to want you to dive deeper on. So if you shared in a video 5 tips to help you with manufacturing leadership, you could dive deeper in each one and do a series, and people will show up, and in each way they can see how you work with people, what it's like, or if it's a product, from maybe you have something in mind and you're trying to say, hey, we're coming out with this new product, but we want to hear from you. And for the next few series, we're going to be going through the process. There's just so many things. Like, I know there's some parts that you're like, well, we can't share, but there are parts of it. Think of a course. I'm going to put it back to an entrepreneur who's thinking about putting out a course. When you come up with the course, you're like, yo, I want to do this course on, how to apply for a job. And I'm going to do A, B, C, D. And then you put it out, but then nobody wants it because
Yeah.
things have changed. So by going live, by putting out content and then going live, you get in the comments what people are looking for. Because as you start talking about those topics that would be in your course, then you start to realize this is not what it is. I'm starting to see a trend. More and more people are having to learn how to get on camera because they have to do video. They have to send in a video for their interview. Like the first interview is a video. You're not talking to somebody. They're just asking you questions. You have so much time in between. You have so much time to submit it. And so maybe your course needs to change a little bit, and then you do that. So once it goes to market, then you have something that people want to buy.
Absolutely love it, man. Bam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, drop
And
the mic.
incredible
Product
advice.
market fit. It's a great way just to get yourself out there. Dan says, "Hey, everything is better when it is bigger." Diane says, "Great advice. I couldn't agree more." So, Shri, let's start. Let's wind down. So, when folks that are just totally captivated with you, your expertise, they can find you obviously here on LinkedIn. Where else can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, even on X. I'm also on YouTube, but I make it easy. Find me here, reach out to me. If you're on Facebook, reach out to me on Facebook. But if you want to check me out, you want to see what I'm like, just come to the live shows, come to the posts, talk to my friends if you want to.
Yep.
You have to right here.
Absolutely. And so in Next Level Consulting is her business. It's NL, I think it's nlconsulting.net. Do I have that correctly? Is that your website?
Yes, nlconsulting.net. But I don't send people there because I'm one of those people who built a website at a time, not realizing it wasn't the right time to build that website.
Got it. Okay. So, hey, check her out on social. So, Shri, last time you were on the show, I asked you, so we talked about your hero. We hit that earlier, right? And last time I asked you, who was your inspiration? Do you remember that by any chance? Do you remember what your answer was for that one?
I don't remember what my answer was for that.
I think you said faith. I think you were like, I think God, you're like, God's my inspiration. Does that ring a bell? I didn't go back and look, but that was my recollection. Was I was really touched that you're like. So here, I have a different question for you this time. Are you ready? Okay. Are you sitting down? Are you okay?
I'm ready.
Okay. So, all right. So giving shout out to mom and dad. As a matter of fact, I think last time we were on the show, we were talking about how your mom had just crashed one of your live shows like the week before.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
So, like you said, like my dog is over here like snoring and rolling. Yeah. Like he's totally like being disruptive right now. So like, you never know what's going to go on a live show, right, Damon? So all right, as we wind down, Shri, I have one last question for you today. Again, guys, connect with Shri on LinkedIn, Instagram, X, Facebook, wherever. She would be honored, and it'd be a privilege for her to help you on your video journey, whatever it is. However you want to stop being the best kept secret. Shri, are you a baseball fan by any chance?
I am. I do know a few teams like the Astros, the Mets, the Sox.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Well, it is preseason, so spring training is in full bloom right now. Baseball is going to be starting here pretty soon. So, though it's not baseball season quite yet, it's right around the corner. Shri, I have a question for you. So, if you were, let's say the Astros were playing a game, just pure hypothetical, okay? And I'm asking for a friend, and let's say that there's somebody on second base. There's 2 outs. Somebody on second base, tie score, and they need a winning run like now. Okay. And so the manager looks down the bench and says, "Hey, Shri, grab your helmet, grab your bat, and get up to the plate. We need the winning run. Okay. We need someone to get a base hit the winning run." As you grab your helmet, grab your bat, you're walking up to the plate. What is your walk-up song?
My walk-up song, actually, it's really the song is, I don't even have a song because I don't even know, but I would be like, okay, come on, God, we got this. We've been practicing for this moment all year, all the time. We got this. Let's go. You and I together.
So you'd be making up a song on the way to the plate on your own, right? How's that, Shri? So she'd be making up a song.
It's not even like any song. It would just be a whole conversation with God. And like, we have been preparing for this moment since day one. Like this is not happening today. My day one was the time that I was taught. Right. That's the moment. And that's how I feel about live streaming. The moment I went live, it was like I brought my public speaking and then my whole persona of who I am, how I am came. And so every time, whether I am in person coaching a client or going live, I just bring the same person, because sometimes even when I do public speaking, I get nervous. And then I remember, hey, we have gone live with 250 people on the live show. We got this. This is only 10 people. We got this.
Yeah. Well, I absolutely great answer, Shri. Great answer. Damon, I was on a podcast recently, and it was a guest of ours, and they asked me the question. And you know what my song was? If I ever told you what my walk-up song is? Have I told you guys?
What is your one?
Let's hear it.
Rocky? Let's go.
Baby Shark.
Yep.
Baby Shark.
That's a good one. Baby Shark. Here,
Baby Shark. So we might have to close out with that. So anyway, Sheree, let's go here. We want to thank you. We appreciate you. And guys, you've been hanging out with us for however long it's been. Let's give a big there you go.
Mine would be like, okay, because there's several songs. The one that comes up, it's a gospel song, and it says, "You've already got, I already have it" by Dion Kipling. It starts off, you say, "I already have it,"
right,
and then you say, and then he says, "Say it again, I already have it."
All right, we got to check that one out. So, all right, Sheree. So let's go here, guys. So, hey, if you've been hanging out with us for past 50 some minutes, we invite you, encourage you. Let's give a big round of applause for Sheree, the video marketing expert here in the house. Sheree, we thank you. We appreciate you. We applaud you. We send our thoughts to you and Dad and your daughter in college. And we just wish you a wonderful, incredible 2024. Massive success. We just love having you. You're a dear friend. We love having you on the show. And Damon, thoughts, takeaways, what do you got for today?
Well, I just think people need to rewind and listen to Sheree on this, because there's some real gold nuggets in here about going live, the normal apprehension to go on live, some of the things you want to do, maybe if you want to reach out. And also, I just think everyone in the comments today, love the questions, love the interaction. Just keep it coming. And those of you that didn't make a comment today, maybe next time's your time, because we're going to be back again on Friday.
That's right. We got a really good guest on Friday. So, all right, guys, have an awesome week. Sheree, hang out with us for 1 second. God bless everybody. We appreciate you. And hey, just like we always like to say, go out and be someone's inspiration, just like this lovely lady here was for all of us today. Okay. And hey, we've got this right here. Great session. Janine, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Janine. We need to connect with Janine. And so, guys, have a great Monday. We'll see you soon.